This has been Joey with Hell or High Water, and you're watching ArmyOfOneTV.com. How's it going? This is Joey from Hell or High Water, and I play guitar. So in, what year was it now? 2011? I think it was January 2011. I got a phone call from a friend of mine's manager, a rock band, and he said, hey man, I know your band is kind of taking a break right now. Do you want to audition for a band? So we drove up. Kyle and I are a drummer now. He and I drove up to LA and tried out for Brandon's band. We hadn't really met him before that. So it was kind of a scenario. We walked into a room and we're kind of both feeling each other out. You know, there was 30 or 40 kids there to audition for his band, and we had all learned a couple songs, and just one of those things. I walked into the room and we kind of like had like a bro moment, and we jammed, and it was like, this is it. This feels right. So 2 weeks later, we jumped in a van and we were on tour together playing the songs that Brandon wrote. He had 6 songs finished, and we just learned those and played them on tour. And then we came home and finished writing our first album, which was Begin Again. And yeah, fast forward 6 years, and here we are. Basically, we did a full-length album, and then we did another EP shortly after that, and we got to do a bunch of rad tours on that. We toured with Stone Sour and The Darkness, and a lot of cool bands. And then we started writing the album that's about to come out now, Vista. And as we started, I think we were 10 or 15 songs into writing it, and it just kind of made sense for Atreyu to come back, Brandon's other band. So we took a break, and they went on cycle, and they did a full 2-year cycle. They made an album, they did the whole thing. And we didn't stop during that point in time, so we kept writing, working with Brandon, working independently, all this stuff. And we ended up having 64 tracks by the end. Before we picked the songs on the album, we had 64 songs, like start to finish, completed. So, you know, when we weren't on tour with Atreyu, whether we were teching for them or I got to play guitar for about 8 months, I was filling in, and we were all staying really busy, but we also kept writing the whole time. You know, whether we were in the same city working together or not, you know, working remotely over the internet or whatever, writing jams. And it didn't come together till kind of the last few months of writing is when it all started to make sense, and a lot of those songs are the ones that made the record. You know, there's songs on this album that are 3 years old. There's songs on this album that were, you know, 6 months old before we recorded them. So we're stoked. It's been a long time coming for this album, and it's probably, you know, like our life's work. I'm not sure we'll get another opportunity to spend 2 or 3 years writing an album. The album is called Vista, and Vista is actually where I'm born and raised. It's a city in North San Diego, California. And when I joined the band, I was the only guy in San Diego. Everyone else was in LA and Orange County, and kind of spread out all over the place. And I ended up sucking them all into my world. We ended up practicing at my house, and you know, my family has a big plot of land, and it's just kind of like a Midwest vibe, but coastal, like, you know, 5 minutes from the beach. But so I ended up bringing all these guys in, and you know, it became very apparent that where we were practicing, where I'm from, where we all kind of connect is way more than just the city that we happen to be in. It kind of created a whole vibe, you know, and the city does that. It's a chill, mellow little town. You know, a lot of cool skaters and punk musicians come from this place, but it's never been, you know, it's not like a super popular destination. So essentially we're kind of trying to put it on the map as being a place that has a strong vibe, you know, more than anything. And that translated so well into the record. You know, all the songs that we ended up choosing just kind of embody that, you know, it's more than where you're from kind of feeling. So that's stoked that we got to name it that. It's very obvious in the vibe, from the tones that we chose to the songs that we chose to the way that the record flows. It just kind of is that. So during the Atreyu cycle, we went through some member changes. We had a couple guys leave the band and change some stuff up. I used to play bass on the first 2 records. I was playing bass, and now I'm playing guitar. And we got John Boy, who was actually our guitar tech for the first cycle, who's now our guitar player. And then our buddy Maldi, we brought him in too. He's playing bass. It was just kind of like old friends. Like the whole band now, even Brandon now, we end up, you know, thinking back to old memories. Oh yeah, I was there at that party with you and whatever. And it's turned into this, rather than being a bunch of strangers that play music together, now it's like a full brotherhood, and we have this weird history that we didn't even really know about. In fact, we found out yesterday that Brandon and Maldi, our bass player, went to the same college at the same time, and they didn't even know until literally yesterday. This was like 15 years ago. So that's a trip. But yeah, the first record was very much a Brandon record. You know, I think this band started out as being Brandon's solo effort, and he wanted to have an outlet for his own stuff. And we kind of just jumped on board when he asked us to, but really quick after we started touring that first album, it became a band, you know what I mean? And fortunately, he's a legend and brought us all in, and it wasn't we're gonna hire you to play my songs scenario. It turned into, let's make this the biggest band in the world, you know what I mean? Let's do this, and the talent level from the rest of our guys is unreal. So I think we all mutually think that we're the luckiest people in the world to get to play with each other, and hopefully it'll be another casual 40 or 50 year career, you know. So we're out on tour right now with Nothing More is headlining, which is an amazing band, and we've got to play shows with them over the years. Love watching them grow and become who they are now. Black Map is main support. They're one of my favorite bands. Mark, the guitar player, is unreal. I mean, everyone in the band is unreal, but you know, Mark plays in the band Dredge as well, is one of my favorite bands, one of my favorite guitar players ever. So getting to watch him play every night's a trip. And then as Lions, they've become like our best friends already. We've been out for 2 weeks. Every person on this tour is just like ultimate bros, you know. You always hope that that's how it goes, but it doesn't always happen to be that way, you know. This is one of those tours where it's like, it feels like we're all in like a dorm room together, you know what I mean? But yeah, so we've been out for 2 weeks. We got another 3 weeks left. I think we're home for 5 days after this, and then we head back out again with Stitched Up Heart, and that's a U.S. tour again. Which is great. They're an awesome band. We're kind of in a similar position as far as our growth as a band, and you know, we're kind of starting to just break into that world where people care and want to come see us. So that one will be super fun. But it's been awesome. I mean, there's momentum. We can feel it. People are wanting to come hang out. We want people to be at our shows and, you know, lose your shit. You know, forget about your life, forget about your job, forget about everything. Come hang out and sweat with us. That's our MO at this point. Be the good guys and let's have some fun. So our record comes out on May 19th through Spinefarm Records, who've been amazing to us. We got a single out right now, I Want It All, that's doing really well at radio, and keep requesting, keep checking that out. Yeah, the record comes out May 19th. We got pre-orders for sale. There's 1 million bundles right now. All the coolest merch designs they have through Spinefarm for our pre-orders, so make sure to check that out. We got HellOrHighWaterOfficial.com. You can check us out there. You can get all the pre-orders and bundles there. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and Shazam. Don't forget about Shazam. Yeah. Right, so if you get a chance, come out and see us, and we'll shake your hand and maybe I'll pull a backflip. Hell or High Water. Don't forget.